So what's a better winter break, Athens or the UK? I've just priced it up. 117 gets you 3 nights in Athens including flights. That barely covers 2 nights in York, but let's really compare the weather, the prices and what you actually get for your money. So here's a fun one. What's cheaper, 3 nights in Athens with flights included or a 2-night break in York? Why don't we find out, but more importantly, find out which one's better. Right, I've literally just got back from York with my 85-year-old mum as her birthday treat. It's becoming a bit of a tradition. Last year I took her to Athens as her Christmas present, and ever since I started this channel, I think she's starting to cash in a bit. This time she fancies something a little bit closer to home, and who am I to argue? But it got me thinking, how does a UK city break really stack up against Athens on price? Right, let's cover the basics. If you've seen my last video, don't bother clicking it now, I'll put it up again at the end. You'll know that I found a 3-night break in Athens for 118 from Manchester. That's flights and hotels, flying as I said out of Manchester. Even cheaper if you went from London, but let's be fair and add the extras. Fuel to the airport, about £30, we're now at 133 per person. Then there's parking, roughly £60 for the trip, or £30 each. This brings Athens up to 166 per person for 3 nights. Now, York. 2 nights in a decent hotel within the walls came to 180. I know what you're thinking. Ian, you could have got cheaper. Not within the walls, and let's face it, Mum's 85. She doesn't want to walk far. But that's £90 each. Add 30 for fuel, 15 each, so that's 105 each so far. York's looking like a winner, isn't it? However, the hotel stung us with £20 a night for parking. So that works out as another £20 each. All in, that's 125. So on raw numbers, if you just wanted a break, York edges this one at 125 versus Athens at 166. York wins, but not by much. And remember, that's only 2 nights in York versus 3 nights in Athens. Let's see how the rest of it plays out. Right, so York kind of won the last section. Let's see how Athens does on this one. Next up, it's food and drink. Now, just to keep it fair, I'll do this on a per day basis since Athens is a 3 nights and York was only 2. And remember, I was travelling with Mum, so no spicy food, no large meals, no cocktails, and she hasn't had a Long Island iced tea since the days of Prohibition. So this is a sensible eater's budget. York first. Breakfast in the hotel was £16, so none of that. This is still an Ian trip after all, although I'm treating Mum. Plus she wouldn't have eaten a full English. We found a local cafe instead, coffee and pastries at £6.50 each, which in all fairness wasn't too bad. Lunch was a killer because we met my sister and the whole point of this trip was to meet up with her and go out for a traditional afternoon tea in Betty's, which was absolutely amazing. That did come in at £40 each. So to balance it out, we went budget for dinner, 2-course meal at Yates's wine bar, not exactly pushing the boat out, for £15 each, which gives York a per day food cost of £61.50. Now, let's look at Athens. Breakfast, all manner of places will give you a coffee and pastry for about £4 each. Lunch, yep, Ian would go for just a gyros. Love my gyros, they're about £3 or £4, but Mum would want to sit down by then. We were getting proper sit-down lunches for about a tenner a head, including a coffee. Light, but certainly enough for lunch. Now, to be fair to York, we did push our boat out a couple of times in Athens. We found a rooftop meal in Plaka for £40 for the 2 of us, so that was £20 a head, with views of the Acropolis. That puts Athens at about £34 a day. So for the scorecard, York £61.50 a day, Athens £34, nearly half the price. And that's without digging into booze, but let's be honest, if the hotel bar in York was anything to go by, Athens would smash it. So, Athens is a winner on food and drink. This is starting to feel a bit like comparing oranges to apples. So, let's go for activities. This one's tricky, so I'm going to compare the whole 2 days in York with a typical 2 days in Athens. York first. Day 1 we hit up the Railway Museum, which was free. How very me. Looking back, I think that's one of the reasons Mum chose York. She knew I'd always wanted to see the choo-choo trains. See, she still has my back. And honestly, I'd recommend it to anyone. It's really good. It's a couple of hours. No matter what age you are, there's going to be something there for you. For me, it was a chance to sit on a Shinkansen bullet train. I It's the one thing I regret when on my trip to Japan we never got round to trying one out. So I can say I've now been on a bullet train. Okay, it didn't go anywhere, but hey ho. The rest of the trip we mostly socialised with my sister and one of her mates. So it's really hard to compare. So I'll pretend it was just me and Mum that went. We'd have probably thrown in a couple of big hitters. The York Minster, that bad boy's going to cost you £20. And the Jorvik Centre, that's going to cost you £20. So for a day and a half of wandering and a couple of big hitters, you're looking at about £40 each. Now, Athens. Going like for like, let's look at the freebies. Wandering Plaka, people watching in Syntagma Square, and the changing of the guards, which you cannot not do. It's mesmerising. Paid stuff, the Acropolis slopes, which in winter is a brilliant deal at a tenner each. It's normally 20. And I would say, if you've never been before, the Acropolis Museum, which is a bit pricey, comes in at £20. That's one of the things the UK really wins at. Most of the museums are free. However, if you go to York on a Monday, the free museums are closed. So if you throw in the funicular up like a Bettas for probably the best view in Athens, if not Greece, you've got a grand total of £40. So yeah, activities. This one's a dead heat. York at 40, Athens at 40. Different vibes, same hit to the wallet. Right, as I've made this, I've realised it's a really unfair comparison, let's be honest. Why don't you just do both? But which takes the crown? On total holiday cost, York actually edges it, even though it's a bit shorter. Daily food, I would say Athens smashes it. Activities, pretty much neck and neck, depending on what you value more. The Acropolis is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, but let's be honest, it's not in the best condition, is it? York Minster, on the other hand, is still standing tall after 800 years and looks ready for another 800. Do you know what? Let's just call it a draw. Where Athens wins big is the excitement of getting away. An overseas adventure, sunshine, rooftop dinners with a view of history, you can't beat that. But let's not be unkind to York either. It's a brilliant weekend city, packed with history, character, and some pretty pricey pastries. For me, Athens will always win because of the weather, the sense of adventure, and I love going abroad. And I obviously love Athens because it looks like I'm planning my third trip. But where York, I think, has the edge, it's totally doable for a quick weekend. And chances are it will be so different to where you already live. We were lucky, we got great weather when we went, but obviously that's not guaranteed. Now, if you're travelling with someone who doesn't fancy airports, it's the winner. So what about you? Would you choose Athens for the adventure or York for the convenience? Or if you're me, do both. Drop it in the comments below. I'd love to know what you'd pick and why. Thanks ever so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.